Tompolo contract. Pandef warns Northern Group against provocation. Welcome to the news and please subscribe to our channel. The Pan-Niger Delta Forum, joined championed by a First Republic Federal Information Commissioner Chief Edwin Clark, has warned Northern youth against provoking a crisis in the Niger Delta region with unnecessary and negative expression and action. Now, if you do not know what happened, even me, after reading the news, I was almost confused. The Northern Nigeria then give person where they for wait, let me explain this thing because me I believe say this our suffering while they speak, you know we explain them well. I'm sorry. These people they were awarded a contract. The Niger Delta people. I think that contract went into billions. And Northern Nigeria, all the way from Northern Nigeria, can't they chook mouths? In fact, making a giving at the Fuji started the news. The news in detail. The warning came barely 48 hours after a coalition of Northern youths under the aegis of Amalgamated Arewa Youth Group demanded the termination of a pipeline surveillance contract awarded to repentant Niger Delta militant High Chief Government Ekpome Polu, popularly known as Tompolo, during the protest at the headquarters of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, in Abuja. But Pandef, in a statement issued by its National Publicity Secretary, Ken Robinson, in Abuja on Wednesday evening, warned that the threat by the AAYGs was capable of sparking severe consequences in the Niger Delta region. He said Pandef cautioned that the reported threat by the so-called Amalgamated Arewa Youth Groups to paralyze activities at the Nigerian National Petroleum Commission, NNPC headquarters, if the said contract awarded to the government Ekpome Polu was not revoked, is not only absurd and delusional but capable of sparking severe consequences in the Niger Delta region. We are sending a serious warning to those misguided Arewa youth and their sponsors. Let it be known to them that the Niger Delta people will not tolerate such absurdity. Pandef advises the federal government and the management of the titular NNPC Limited to ignore the shenanigans of the purported Arewa Youth Group. The Niger Delta should not be provoked any further. Enough is enough. Tompolo and indeed any other capable son or daughter of the Niger Delta, for that matter, has the right to be awarded any contract by any agency or company of the federal government, more so the NNPC, whose core operations are carried out mainly in the Niger Delta region. Nigeria is reportedly losing billions of naira daily through organized outrageous crew theft by criminals and corrupt officials. A thought will not be inapposite to infer that the so-called Amalgamated Arewa Youth Groups were mobilized by the organized oil thieves to impede the renewed efforts of the NNPC Limited to mitigate the stealing of our crude oil and also safeguard the nation's oil and gas assets. Pandef notes that the Niger Delta region has continued to suffer marginalization and isolation in critical sectors of the country, especially in the oil and gas sector. While our people are denied adequate participation in both the management and operation of the oil and gas industry, including the ownership of the oil blocks and marginal fields, the sad reality is that people from other parts of the country, some of whom do not even know what crude oil looks like, but for what they see in pictures, own the bulk of all marginal fields and blocks. Pandef further notes that whereas the Petroleum Industry Act provided a paltry 3% of its settlers' operational cost for the host communities development trust fund, it brazenly appropriated a humongous 30% of NNPPC's oil and gas profit for Enabler's Frontier Oil Exploration Fund. The composition of the board and management of a new NNPC Limited is another excellent matter. It is the same old narrative of inequity and lopsidedness. The South-South geopolitical zone that accounts for over 80% of the nation's crude oil production and which should be bona fide shareholders has only one member on the board. Meanwhile, oil and gas exploration activities have continued to degrade our hitherto luxuriant, healthy ecosystem and ravage the indigenous people means of livelihood. Critical infrastructure projects in the region have also continued to either suffer neglect or total abandonment. Given such an unpleasant background in the Niger Delta, the reported protest by the said Arewa youth over the surveillance contract awarded to High Chief Government Ekpomopolo is most insolent and annoying. The fact that the Niger Delta people have been calm despite the cruel justice being meted out against them does not mean that the people do not know what to do or lack the will to do it. Now, you dey hear? They award contract. They award contracts to people in their region, in the Niger Delta region, in the South-South geopolitical zone. Imagine Arewa from all the way from the north, can't stretch their neck. I don't know, say they get giraffe neck like this. So their mouths come long, can't enter inside the matter. Waiting, then they find. So they wanted to hear that, okay, one Mr. Alhaji Hassan Bronu is the one that voted, because I don't get. Have you ever been to Bayelsa? Have you? I mean, take a trip to Bayelsa. Go to those places where this oil are being extracted from or are being gotten from, and you go hail people where they stay for those areas. You don't go through the shit they go through. You don't live in the area they live in. You don't know how their farmers there suffer. You don't know how their fishermen suffer. People who are in the business. And you just open your mouth, wah, and just talk anyhow. Now what? Now wow. The oil in the south is for all Nigerians, while the gold in the north is for northerners. What a country. My dear, this matter, it tires me. This is the inequity they're talking about. This is the lack of equity that we are talking about. This is it. Fooling some people and expecting the same people they fool not to complain. Now wow. This kind of one, it looks like a jovial phrase. Please, the country needs to be shaken by strongholds. We are one. Let us wake up and collect what belongs to us. I'm telling you. This is why I keep saying, South and I said, I want to unite, Abi. No problem. People should continue playing to the gallery. No problem. At this point, no problem. I just hope that when we realize that it is, that we are all victims and we need to unite to fight this war. This war against, as in, bad leadership in this country. That we really need to unite. I just hope it's not going to be too late for us. Alright, instead of being in charge, Temple is protecting his God-given resources for the Fulani cabals. This is just like being a gatesman in an inherited mansion. Okay. Why Arewa and Mieti Anla failed to attack FG for failing to reveal the identity of those high-profile Nigerians being listed by UAE as sponsors of Boko Haram? My dear, if you ask me, who I go ask? But I sincerely want to believe that on a very good day, breeze go blow and every information will define, not just the information, the view, as in information of these people that have been hiding will come out. And then